Well, pubs across Melbourne are roaring this morning, filled with English football fans who are watching the Euro 2020 semi-final. It is now in its fight. It's just ended. So let's go to Pat Murrell at the Imperial. There we go. Pat, take it away.
Pete, you come to me at the right time because England have just won the game and the crowd here is absolutely going off. About 200 English fans here. They've been here since the crack of dawn, braving the wintry cold Melbourne morning to come to the Imperial Hotel and support their team, which hadn't made the Euro semi-finals since 1996. Well, now they are through to the final and everyone here is ecstatic. We'll just take a listen to some of the chanting. And I imagine it'll go on like this for a couple of hours. People have been here for a bit already. They've had breakfast, they've had a beer or two. I imagine there'll be a few more celebration ones, of course, rather than commiseration ones should England have lost. But it is absolutely going off here at the Imperial Hotel, Pete, and probably a similar story at pubs right across Melbourne. And this party will continue right throughout the day, probably through the weekend as well, through to when England play in the finals on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, good on them, I suppose. Pat, they have been waiting an awfully long time to make the final of a major footballing tournament the last year, 1966, so it has been overdue. They've buckled under the pressure, usually, in the past, but this is the first time they've made a final since then. So, well done. Well done to the English. Commiserations to the Danes, though. They took it to extra time. It was 1-1 after 90 minutes, and then Harry Kane, the English captain, was able to stick in the penalty after it was initially saved by the keeper, Kasper Schmeichel. But the final now awaits. They'll be playing Italy next week. Pat, are you able to throw your microphone in front of some people and some fans and get their thoughts on what's happening?
I couldn't quite hear you, Pete, but I'm sure Melbourne will be going off on Monday as well. Of course, there's a significant Italian population here. Just earlier this week, in fact, Lygon Street, where a lot of those Italian restaurants and cafes are, that was absolutely going off. People were setting flares off after the Italian game, and it'll be probably a very similar, even more energetic, in fact, now that they're playing England. It's just the place to be for sport in Australia at the moment, Pete. We'll just try and find a fan to speak to here. We'll take a walk around. You're live on Sky News.
Drink all your beer. Please stop. Come on. Please stop.
Look at.
All right. We'll leave Pat there. We may come back to him in a half an hour's time when things may have settled down. But yeah, that party is going to continue for some time. And the beers, no doubt, flowing at 7:39 a.m. at that particular pub